Greetings and welcome to another Pokemon 2019 or Pokemon Journeys anime episode review. This time I'm talking about episode 36, so let's get to it. Episode 36 begins with Ash having two battles for the Pokemon World Championships or World Coronation Series. The request for the first battle comes when Ash is jogging with Riolu and Pikachu. Ash tells Go that they are jogging to train because he wants to train as hard as possible so that he does not lose next time, because his rank went down after he lost his previous match. As they jog, Ash's opponent is just standing there waiting for him. Ash gets the request for the battle and he happily accepts, hoping to get his rank back up. Ash sends out Riolu to battle. Ash mentioned previously that Riolu also wants revenge after losing. His opponent sends out Octillery. Ash says that Octillery is like Grablock, and he recalls his battle with B. He tells Riolu to stay as far away as possible when battling, which shocks Riolu. Ash is clearly wary of battling up close. Riolu starts the battle with a barrage of vacuum waves, but Octillery is able to easily dodge them, and it fires off a Psybeam which hits Riolu, a super effective hit. Riolu is apparently confused by the attack since Riolu gets the little dog circling around its head. Octillery follows up with a Wrap attack which traps Riolu, and then Octillery hits Riolu with a close-range Octazooka, which knocks out Riolu. So, Ash loses and his rank drops from 930 to 975. Ash is depressed further by this loss, but he gets another battle request right then, which makes him smile, saying that he will make up for his losses. For his second battle, Ash uses Riolu once again. His second opponent sends out Tentacruel, another Pokemon that has tentacles. What a coincidence, I guess that tentacles are in style. Ash mentions that it's another Pokemon that will be tough to battle up close, so he tells Riolu that it shouldn't get close. Ash clearly has tentacle PTSD after losing to Grablock. Riolu is visibly annoyed by this request. Ash's opponent calls for Bubble Beam, and it's funny that this trainer is voiced by the same voice actress that voices the Pokedex, so it felt like Ash was battling the Pokedex. Ash tells Riolu to dodge the Bubble Beam, and he tells it to fire a barrage of vacuum waves, which seems to be Ash's favorite attack style for Riolu. After doing exactly what Ash commanded, Riolu is able to get close to Tentacruel, and Riolu attempts to fire off a point-blank vacuum wave. But Ash says, "No, get back," so Riolu turns to him like, "What? Really?" And Tentacruel hits the distracted Riolu with its tentacles, and it follows up with Bind, which traps Riolu. Tentacruel then uses Poison Sting at close range to finish the match. So, Ash loses yet again, and once again Riolu was defeated by a point-blank attack that was used on it while Riolu was trapped by tentacles. This is exactly how Riolu was defeated by Grablock. Ash's rank drops to 1021, and he drops from super class back down to normal class. Ouch. It's one thing to lose rank, and it's another thing to drop a whole class or tier. The latter is much more painful. Ash's mood plummets as a result of this decrease. Meanwhile, in the Hoenn region, a strange thing was happening. A sand tornado was raging in Mobile City, and a mysterious singing voice was luring people into the Sand Twister. The crew back at Sakuragi or Cerise Institute is looking into this phenomenon, and they mention that it could be the work of an unknown Pokemon. Go is eager to head out and investigate, but Ash is still depressed, saying that he has lost 3 times in a row, and at this rate, battling Leon will be a dream within a dream. But Go drags Ash along, and they head to the Hoenn region. As soon as they arrive, they notice that the town is covered in sand. Go is still eager to investigate, but Ash is still depressed, until they hear the strange singing voice that has been luring people. Ash says that it feels like it's calling to them. This singing reminded me of Lugia in the Pokemon 2000 movie. This singing motivates Ash, who finally decides to smile, and so they head into the sand. But before that, they equip the same goggles they used back in episode 28 while striking a cool pose. And I love that there is a pair of floating goggles that freaks everyone out at first, but it turns out that it's Sobble, who is wearing them while invisible, and it's cute how Sobble just turns to Go when he says, "Is that you, Sobble?" Sobble turns its head like, "Yeah, it is, what's wrong?" They all cut through the sand and they arrive at the heart of the storm, where the city is completely shrouded in sand. As they investigate the area, they run into 3 people that are trapped in a sand pit, with a Trapinch waiting below to presumably eat them. The 3 people get dragged closer and closer to Trapinch, so Go decides that catching Trapinch is the only way to save them, and so he catches the Trapinch. I actually made a video on the preview for this episode and I discussed the possibility of Ash catching Trapinch. I concluded that this wouldn't happen, and I never believed that it would happen, but some people did believe that it was possible, so I made the video to discuss the subject. I knew that Ash wouldn't catch Trapinch, but I did not consider the possibility that Go would be the one to catch it. However, many people did comment on my video on the preview saying that Go would catch it, and indeed, he does. So at this point, I'm thinking, well, Go caught Trapinch, and he will catch Flygon, so it would be odd if he did not catch Vibrava as well. So he probably will catch one, and indeed, a Vibrava shows up soon after and Go catches it as well with some help from Raboot. As Go marvels over his new capture, he says that Trapinch evolves into Vibrava, who then evolves into, before he can finish his sentence, Flygon itself shows up. What convenient timing. Go realizes that Flygon is behind the singing and the sandstorm, so he decides to catch it so that the city can return to normal. He throws a Pokeball at it, but it's deflected by the sand and it does not reach Flygon. So Go decides to battle it instead and he enlists Ash's help, who reluctantly accepts. Ash is clearly still doubting himself. Ash sends out Pikachu while Go sends out Sobble. Ash has Pikachu use Thunderbolt, which obviously does not work on a ground-type Pokemon. Now I would like to think that Ash only made such a rookie mistake because he is off his game. But he did this in episode 14 as well, and back then he was not in a poor mental state. He also called out Pikachu for doing this same thing in the same episode, yet he commits the same mistake. Ash recalls Pikachu and he has Riolu battle instead. Ash calls for a barrage of vacuum waves as usual, but Flygon uses the sandstorm to shield itself. Ash says that it's useless and Go says that they have to get rid of the sandstorm, so he tells Sobble to use Water Gun, which is ineffective at first, but it eventually punches through the sandstorm by hardening the sand, and so Sobble gets a clean hit on Flygon. Riolu uses Vacuum Wave while Sobble uses Water Gun again and Flygon is hit multiple times. However, it burrows underground. Flygon then starts to use Dragon Rush while under the sand, and it also jumps out of the sand with it, which makes it resemble a shark, which reminded me of its fellow dragon and ground-type Pokemon, Garchomp. Flygon hits Sobble with Dragon Rush, which sends Sobble flying and it lands with its face in the sand. Sobble almost cries as a result, but Go recalls it before it can cry, saving everyone from crying as well. Riolu tries to hit Flygon with Vacuum Wave, but it can't. Ash wonders if he should change his strategy, but he then recalls his recent losses and he states that fighting up close is too dangerous. Ash ends up drowning in self-doubt. Riolu calls out to him like, "Get it together, bro," but Flygon hits Ash and Riolu. Ash sits there underground looking helpless and he just looks away. At this point I was getting kind of frustrated with Ash because he was being way too indecisive, uncertain, and helpless. It felt like he was powerless and unable to do anything. Now I get it, he lost 3 times in a row, but Ash is no stranger to defeat. This is not the first time that he has been defeated. Maybe it was a stronger shock this time because he had a flawless streak, and because he is dropping rank, meaning that he is losing something every time he's defeated. But I still think that he is being way too weak-minded and weak-willed. I feel like Ash has never been this helpless. Go decides to keep battling with Raboot, who uses Double Kick, but Flygon dodges it and it continues to do its underground Dragon Rush routine. Go tells Raboot to listen for Flygon, which Raboot does and it dodges Flygon's next attack. Ash is like, "You dodged it, you're amazing, Raboot." Seriously, Ash, your Pokemon have done this before as well. Raboot continues to dodge Flygon and then it uses Ember, which Flygon avoids twice. Ash continues to sit there while being the most negative person ever, saying that it's no use. Flygon is too fast. Flygon then uses Draco Meteor, which Raboot dodges, but Flygon uses Draco Meteor again and again. Goodbye, special attack. Raboot keeps jumping back to dodge, but Go tells it to not get far away, that it should dodge while closing in. Ash says that it's crazy to do that. It's better to fight at a distance. Go turns away from Ash like, "I know what I'm doing, let me do my thing." And Ash is like, what is he thinking? At this point, I was starting to get really annoyed by this episode. Like, why are the roles reversed? Why is Go battling like a pro, adapting to his opponents and knowing how to battle expertly, while Ash sits there helplessly saying that it's crazy and that there is no hope? This is just wrong. Go then tells Raboot to use the Draco Meteor as footing, which Rabu does. It manages to climb up, and it ends up above Flygon. Rabu then uses Ember by kicking one of the meteors, which hits Flygon, and then knocks it out of the sky. Go throws a Pokeball, and he catches Flygon. Ash says that Go's strategy was crazy, and he looks surprised. I seriously almost threw my computer out of the window at this point. Ash, you are the master of crazy battle tactics, and you are surprised by what Gold did? Seriously? In fact, you and Froakie used a very similar strategy back in the XY series when you battled Grant and his Tyrant. Like, come on, Ash, seriously? Gold tells him that he learned to battle like that from Ash. He learned to win no matter how crazy he needs to get, and he battled the way he thought Ash would. Ash finally realizes that he should stick to what he knows best, and he vows to strive for Leon once again, with Pikachu and Riolu's support. So, in the end, Ash learns to battle from Go, really? And that's the episode. I am sure that by now you know that I hated this episode. Ash was powerless throughout the whole Flygon ordeal, and Go was the one that battled like a master. The roles were reversed. Ash just did not feel like Ash at all, and I was not a fan of this whatsoever. I feel that this episode would have been better if Ash was the one to battle Flygon. Ash would have been unsure of himself as he battled, but he could have learned to overcome his insecurity during the battle. Riolu could have helped him realize the error of his ways since Riolu was clearly dissatisfied with Ash's strategy throughout the episode. Ash then overcomes his doubt and his weakness, which allows him to defeat Flygon. He could have then caught the Flygon as well. So in the end, he regains his fighting spirit, he overcomes the obstacle in his path, and he gains a powerful new Pokemon as a reward. This would have been a great episode, but instead, Go battles like he's an expert all of a sudden, and he catches 3 Pokemon, while Ash loses 2 battles, catches nothing, and gets to feel like a powerless supporting character in a shonen anime. I was not a fan of this episode at all, and I feel that Go has been getting way too much success and prominence recently, while Ash gets the short end of the stick, and I hope that this changes soon. But that's the video. As always, leave your own thoughts down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and would like to see more like it, then please consider subscribing to my channel. I love Pokemon and I love making videos on both the anime and the games. Also, please consider clicking the links on screen so that you can check out more videos like this right away. Thank you very much for watching, and let's meet again in the next video.